Now, the statistics and the research, and this is interesting because the combination of narcissism and addiction is like 90%
Mm.
compared to the general population where it's like 5%. So you can see how far
Mm.
the general population having these addictions to someone with narcissism and having these addictions.
Right. Welcome to the Victim to Warrior Show.
Warrior Talk. We're John and Melissa, and we are survivors of narcissistic abuse, and our mission is to help other survivors reclaim and rebuild their lives.
Right. Now, in this podcast, we're going to talk about the dangerous overlap of narcissism and addiction. Right. It's a very, very scary thing. And it's amazing how many narcissists have addiction issues. Now, these addictions could range from anywhere from pornography to substance abuse, which is alcoholism and drug abuse, gambling, or any other type of excessive compulsive behavior that drives them to excess. Now, why is this?
Well, there could be a lot of reasons. I know for a fact mine had just about everyone that you named, sadly. I mean,
Fortunately,
porn addiction. He was an alcoholic. He did recreational drugs a lot. And he gambled, and he also did compulsive things like racing, speeding, dangerous things that to a narcissist caused a high. To someone that doesn't have it, I was terrified. Now, there are many reasons why narcissists have these combination of addiction along with that personality. They use it for a coping mechanism for emotional pain. They often have fragile self-esteem. Now, you wouldn't know that because they act so grandiose and confident, but deep down, they're very insecure. They're hiding pain on the inside because they don't want anybody
right.
to know about it. So they may use substances to bury that down and to give them that liquid courage. Reward-seeking behavior. They tend to have exaggerated sense of entitlement. Don't you all know that? I mean,
Right.
we all know that. And they need instant gratification. So a substance abuse, a fix, that can bring that high immediately.
Mhm.
Impaired self-regulation. They don't know when to stop. Now, you had an issue with yours.
Right.
Wasn't she like a shopaholic? I mean, like big
She would spend money faster than I could make it. There would be things that would just show up in the house, and I'm like, where do these come from? And no communication between us as to what she was going to buy,
and expensive.
and then what budget there was for these items.
And
And-
wasn't it your credit cards?
oh, of course, of course, of course.
I don't mean to laugh, but that's sad.
Yeah.
But it was something that she obviously
Well-
needed to make herself feel better because she could not produce that feeling. on
Right.
the
Well,
inside.
she said it was from her childhood, never having any money. So all of a sudden she has money and she's spending it, again, driving me into the poorhouse. But that was because she didn't have that growing up.
Well, and that's
She's-
one of them. Social and situational factors. It could be something that a narcissist can it can be genetic or it can be environmental.
Mm.
So if they grow up in a dysfunctional household, it can lead to really dangerous personality patterns. They often seek environments where their self-image can be enhanced. I would imagine by her buying expensive things in your house, it was to impress others,
Yeah.
to make others think she had money because she knew how it felt to be dirt poor.
Right. Right.
Unfortunately, she didn't talk to you about it.
Right.
That statute and admiration. Co-occurrent disorders. This narcissism can go hand in hand with other mental health issues such as anxiety or depression. So especially drugs and alcohol can bring on that, yes,
Right.
that sense of well-being, but to an extreme,
Right.
to the point where they're not just taking it to level out for the day, they're abusing it, which obviously causes issues for everybody. Now, the statistics and the research, and this is interesting because the combination of narcissism and addiction is like 90%,
Mm.
compared to the general population where it's like 5%. So you can see how far
Mm.
the general population having these addictions to someone with narcissism and having these addictions.
Right.
So, now you were gonna ask the audience.
Yeah, I'd love to have your input because Melissa just said 90% of narcissists have some sort of addiction issue. So in the comments below, let's hear from you. What type of addiction issues have you dealt with in your narcissistic abusive relationship, whether it's with a spouse or significant other, a working relationship, parent, sibling, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What type of addictions have you dealt with? We're going to talk about how you deal with these addictions, but before we do, take a second, go down to the comments, and let's hear from you. What types of and I'd like to kind of find out what is the common. Is there a common denominator? Is there
Porn
one?
is very, very common.
Right,
Well, at least with our clients, and we have hundreds of clients, and porn seems to be prevalent,
right,
and it's always the partner's fault. It's you're not you don't have sex with me enough. You don't do what I want you to do. In fact, we just did a whole series on narcissism and addiction,
right.
and all of it was blamed on, of course, me, as it was in my real relationship. But it makes the victim feel like they're responsible, or they're not worthy, or they're not good enough.
Right. But and when you say pornography, their level of sexuality is almost to an extreme.
Yes.
It's like it's almost to a dysfunction.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, knowing no one can measure up,
right,
and that's why it makes you feel so bad about yourself, because you can't measure. They're comparing you to this fantasy, and how could anybody be someone's fantasy 100% of the
right,
time? And so they degrade their partners and say, "You're the reason that I'm having to do this."
right,
So it's really sad, and if you're going through that, we are so sorry, because I know how painful it is, and I know how it made me feel.
right,
And I was desperate, I was hopeless. I didn't know what to do to get him to stop.
right,
But that's the thing about addiction, you can't. You can't force the person who's addicted to stop. It's their journey, and that's where enablers don't get that. We try to fix it. We try to explain it away. We try to make excuses for it. All that does is give the person that's addicted a far range to be more addicted.
right,
There's no consequences. So that's one of the things when we talk about coping mechanism, you can't stop that person's addiction. That's their battle.
right.
But you having to cope with it, if you can't leave, and that's one of the decisions you're going to have to make. Can you remain in this relationship when it has this dangerous
Right.
combination? Because those will harm you as well. You need to acknowledge it. Acknowledging the reality of the addiction rather than making excuses for it. Like your ex, it was from my childhood. She was using that as an excuse. Now, I'm sure she felt horrible about being poor, but that was no excuse to use your money to buy these, lavish things that you didn't want and didn't even know about. But it gave her that high.
Yeah,
So you will become a victim of their addiction if you don't set boundaries. You have to set clear and concise boundaries. Are you going to accept it or not? Are you going to demand they go into treatment? Treatment may help the alcoholism, the drug abuse, the porn addiction. It's not going to cure narcissism. There is no cure.
right.
But there are cures for addiction. So that's something you're going to have to decide between you and that abusive partner.
Yeah, and a support group.
Oh gosh. Yep.
What a great way to get involved with other people that are dealing with the exact same thing that you are. Now, Melissa and I have created a fantastic support group on Facebook. It's called the Victim to Warrior Method, and it's a private, anonymous group, and we're going to put the link in the description below. And we're going to put the link to the playlist that we just did on this series of narcissism and addiction in here below as well. So you can see the videos that we did, and maybe it'll give you that aha moment that, yes, I'm dealing with that. And we also coach with these videos too to kind of help you understand, hey, there's ways to get through this and to cope with these things if you have to. If you can't leave and you have to continue to cope with them, how do you do that?
Well, and substance abuse, alcoholism, pornography, addictions, there are groups that specialize
Right.
in that. Our community deals with narcissistic abuse and all of the horrific things that go along with it. But you might need to find an Al-Anon
Right.
group. You might need to find a codependency group. There are things that you may need to sit around others with that specific
Yeah.
combination of addictions. There are groups that support porn addiction to someone's partner. So those are the things that you can find anonymously in your area. All you have to do is Google it. And that might be a place to go to validate your feelings,
Right.
to realize this is not your fault. You did not cause this. And that's another thing is prioritize self-care.
Yeah.
Letting yourself be beat down by them blaming their addiction on you will tear you down. It'll give you anxiety. You won't be able to sleep. You'll start feeling really bad about yourself. Their addiction is not you. So prioritizing, taking care of yourself, getting enough sleep, distancing yourself. Maybe you have to leave. Maybe you have to walk out the door. Maybe you have to not get in the car. That was the biggest mistake of my life. I got in the car and he was driving and he almost killed us. But he was totally drunk. But I had a choice not to get in that car, but it was my car. Was it worth it? No. I could have bought another car. If he would have killed me, what would we be doing? I don't know. So there's decisions that you have to make. So we can help you plan a safe exit strategy if that's what you
Well,
want
let's
to
talk
do.
about that. You were talking about building your strength and self-esteem back. I love our free master class.
Yeah.
I really, really do, because it goes into different pillars of strength that you need to kind of work on a daily basis. So the free masterclass is a fantastic resource, and I'm going to put that link in the description as well. And if you feel like you need one-on-one coaching, Melissa is fantastic with this. Not only did she deal with it in a major way in her previous relationship and was able to get past that, but has worked with so many clients, hundreds of clients, like she said, that have dealt with this, especially the sexual addiction, the pornography,
He is
and has really helped women understand and men understand that it's not their fault and how to grow stronger from it. So I'm going to put Melissa's link down below too. And I'm going to put a discount code in there as well, Recovery25, so you can get $25 off your initial call. It's amazingly helpful. So if you feel like you need that one-on-one coaching, Melissa is fantastic. So
Yeah, I'd love to help you through it. And like John said, so many of our clients are dealing with this combination, and it makes things so much more difficult. But we appreciate you joining us today.
right.
Please subscribe if you haven't and hit that bell and like this podcast.
Oh, and don't forget, in the comments below, let us know what you've dealt with or are dealing with right now.
Yeah, we always look at the comments.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We love you guys, your interaction. We love hearing from you. So we really, really appreciate you following us and tuning in to our podcast,
Warrior Talk.
Warrior Talk. And we'll see you on the next podcast.